Hello everyone and welcome back to VALORANT Challengers North America Mid-Season Cup. It is day 2 of the action, already kicking off on a strong day 1, and I cannot wait to keep that train rolling. My name's Sierra Dawn, I'll be your host for today, and joining me on the analyst desk, well, I have Lemon Kiwi and I have Psycho. Both of y'all, by the way, looking quite dapper. I had to change to try and match up for this. I can't believe that y'all did this to me. Psycho, how are you feeling today? You got to see some great action yesterday, back for some more.
Oh yeah, it's going to be another full day of Valorant, another day of a couple good matches. I mean, we got some real bangers yesterday, and I think looking at the matchups today, I think we're going to get a little bit more of the same.
It was huge. I casted yesterday. Every match but one went to game 3. It was the longest night but the best of nights, and I knew I just had to suit up today to match the vibe out of Psycho. One of us is going to have to change. You got a jacket, so you stepped up. I'm a little jealous, but...
I had to up my game, you know. I saw you coming in hot, and...
I know. We're serving today. We're serving Valorant knowledge, okay? Yeah.
I just know if I keep working with you two, I'm going to have to buy a tie, I guess. I didn't think that was going to be my takeaway to kick things off. But, you know, it's a big occasion, our mid-season cut for our teams, because, of course, it's cool to get to this point. And, of course, they want to be trying to do the best they can to get some very valuable points here. Of course, today, Psycho, this is going to be our opportunity to see some of these big names that we've saw coming out from Stage 1 being able to compete again and show us what they got. So I'm really excited to dive into today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is our chance to get our first look here in the first matchup of Moist. You know, a team that has been pretty dominant, people putting them up there in the top 2 or 3 teams coming into this, and one of the favorites to run the bracket all the way through to Ascension. So it'll be interesting to see our first look at them in the, you know, a little bit more intense format here in the single elimination bracket.
Yeah, and when we're looking at Moist as well, this is the team that when we're looking back at our Stage 1 standings, this is the team to beat. This is the team that came out of the gate absolutely swinging. So it's definitely a team that, looking on forward for today, I definitely think we can expect to see some really, really great things out of, especially too, Lemon, when we're looking back at the standings and some of these powerhouse teams. I mean, a couple of these teams that are sitting around the middle near the bottom, it's going to be a little bit of a journey to try and be pushing their way on up.
Yeah, because only 2 teams came out of relegation, and it was cool to see just even the bottom rise up and even new teams come out of relegation. Just the roster changes that came out of people really want to reach a new peak, a new high score, and we saw even some of those roster changes yesterday. A lot of and teams that didn't need to change anything because they're so good, like Boy Shopify, obviously retained that main core. But today we're going to be starting off with Fluffy Aimers, who had 2 big additions.
Yeah, it's exciting to see some of the changes that are coming on out from a couple of our squads here, because of course, when we're back at our Stage 1, that, hey, what's maybe not working for a couple of these teams, the mid-season cup is definitely an opportunity here to try and rebrand a little bit, try and get that identity going on forward. Because of course, if you missed out on a couple of the points or getting a higher placement in Stage 1, this is the point to try and rebuild, because it's not over, Psycho, at all. We still have so much more Valorant, so many more opportunities for our players and our teams to try and get points, to try and look ahead to Ascension.
That's right. It's a long season. It's a long season. I mean, Ascension doesn't even occur until after VCT Champions this year. So there's lots of Valorant to be played in the Challengers League. And this is a perfect time where if you're looking at your team, you're looking at your standings and going, oh, I'm not happy with the results. I think we could do a little bit better. This is a retooling moment, right? And some of these teams have taken this opportunity and grasped the moment in this little mini roster mania that we've had to you know, retool their roster and try and get pieces that they feel like they may be missing, right? So this is the first test for some of these rosters who have shuffled around a little bit, and we'll get to see our first look at whether these roster moves are going to pay off or whether they may take a step back.
It'll be exciting to see how those roster moves are working out. So let's start diving into our first matchup of the day, where we're seeing a couple of these roster changes coming on out. Not even just a roster change that we see, also a name change when we're looking at one of the first teams that we're going to be featuring. This was Together We Are Terrific, now Fluffy Aimers, a team yesterday, Kiwi, that we did get to see perform yesterday on our other stream. And a team that, hey, these changes seem to be working so far.
Yes, they crushed it against Winthrop yesterday, and I'm so excited. Bones and Jonah joined them from YFP, and of course, you guys know TWT together. We are terrific, are now fluffy, and they have aim, and with these additions, sure enough. And of course, they've retained that core of Pancakes, Mame, and Neptune. Bones was a duelist for YFP, and he is just an incredible raised player. And Jonah was primarily a sentinel, a lot of Cypher time out of this guy, but I just can't stress how big these additions are. And you saw in how they performed against Winthrop yesterday. It was like 13-4 or something on the first map, where Jonah, the new addition, starts off game 1 13-0. Like, that's how dominant Fluffy Aimers looked yesterday right out of the gates. And usually you don't have a lot of time to scrim and really kind of develop with just how soon these additions came in. So for them to look that good that quick, I'm excited.
Yeah, two roster changes going in, just a handful of days before a big tournament like this. That's not a lot of time to prepare, right? You're going to be rolling with what you have a lot of the time. Playbook's not going to be very deep. A lot of relying on old chemistry, trying to just kind of put it together on the fly, right? But luckily, Jonah and Pancakes have some history together. There's some developed chemistry there, and the core of this team is really good. There's some guys on this team who have a lot of experience, like Mame, former star. Back on the old Envy roster back in the day, lots of experience competing and scrimming against this guy. And I know what he brings to a team, right? He's someone who can really be a rock of a team and uplift everybody around him. And you really saw that yesterday. I mean, look at these stats here. He's not always going to be the star, but he steps up when he needs to. And he sure did yesterday. Everything on the line, single elimination. And look at these stats he's putting up as a controller. We kind of talked yesterday about these controller players starting to step up and be more fraggers for the team. And we really saw that from Mame yesterday.
Yeah, he's had such a successful and long-time career in VALORANT. He's trying to kind of rise back up to that VCT level. And even when he was on FaZe and Challengers last stage, didn't get the results that I think really stood out. And now he's on Fluffy Aimers, hoping to have that deeper run into the championship. And he was such a flexible player. Like, Mame is the guy you want on your team. Duelist, Flashes, Viper, like, he's tried it all. But now in TWT, he only has to really balance the Sentinel, and mainly the Omen. But now that Jonah is on this roster, Jonah is like the Cypher GOAT. So that leaves Mame to focus on really mastering the one thing, coordinating the team off the Omen, and just giving them a sense of stability and just one thing that they can practice. And also, Mame is so strong on pistols. He's very aggressive on how he floods into sights into those rounds, and that's why you have Mame, a confident player, win every pistol round against Winthrop yesterday.
Yeah, he's just a demon on these pistol rounds, right? And like you said, going back to the Omen, it's really a return for him to what he has always practiced in the past. He has tons of experience on this controller role, specifically the Omen. I have nightmares of this guy peeking us with the operator on Omen from like 2001, 2002. So, this guy has so much Omen potential, and bringing this Jonah guy in to really lock down some of the more Sentinel roles allows him to flourish in the role that really fits his style.
Yeah, and I feel like that stability that you're talking about when we're looking at Mame and this squad, especially too with these roster changes going into this team now, is something that is needed, because today's match, well, they're going up against the team that is top of our stage 1 so far, Moist X Shopify. And this team, I mean, I'm talking top of the leaderboards, looking back at what they were able to accomplish throughout our stage 1. This was the only team, Lemon, to go undefeated. So they definitely have their work cut out for them.
And, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Retain their roster, the only team to remain undefeated, #1 seed, 5-0 record. And yeah, they might drop like a game here or there. That may be a little strange. Everyone has that off day, but this is the team to beat. And I am a huge fan of their initiators, mainly Brock, coming from that original Moist roster where they won Split 2 and got third in playoffs. Like, they picked up so many good pieces from the Moist roster and joining, of course, the Shopify Rebellion core. And they flourished. And mainly the Flashes is what you have to watch out for Moist Shopify. Their XX are clinical, and that's why they're the #1 team in Challengers. They are the favorites to win the whole thing.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, 5-0 is no easy feat. We've seen no other team do that this season in either group, right? So Moist are sitting at the top of the mountain. They're sitting pretty. And you could attribute a lot of that to, like you said, they put this super team together from the Moist and Shopify rosters, tried to pick up the best pieces from both. But not only that, but they went into the off season trying to get as much match and particularly LAN experience as they possibly could. You know, they played the For Those Who Dare LAN, Sean Garris, the Ludwig Invitational. They got all these off-season tournament experience under their belt, but you know, they kept falling short. Each one of these events, they got to the grand finals and fell short to Oxygen. And you know, after these 3 losses, you know, going all the way and falling short, they made this roster change of getting rid of Thief and bringing in Odorous. And since then, they've been undefeated, 5-0, looking like the team to beat right now. And we'll have to see if Fluffy Aimers are going to step up to the plate and take a swing at these guys, or if they might just be a little too high out of their league.
And a team that I think that we can still see more out of. As you said, 5-0 is definitely no small feat. But looking at this squad, I'm excited for what they've already built up and where they can kind of take it from here. And what's interesting going on with this matchup, particular between MXS and Fluffy Aimers, is they did actually go up against each other in their group stage. They were in the same group, so this is going to be a kind of rematch when we're looking at the changes coming up of Fluffy Aimers here. But it does mean, Lemon, that we have a little bit of history from these two, and Fluffy Aimers know of the big feat that they have ahead of them.
Yeah, these guys matched up in week 4, went 2-0 in the way of Moist Shopify, 13-9 on Breeze, 13-7 on Lotus. It did start to escape TWT, but at least Fluffy Aimers, of course, rebranded. Moist Shopify got their 2 strongest maps, Breeze and Lotus, their most picks, so it was a strong matchup favoring Moist Shopify the whole time. But TWT, they've made huge changes in their roster, so I don't think we're going to see the same scorelines, and we're only seeing one of those maps return in our pool anyway.
Yeah, definitely agree. This will be the real test for them, right? You know, going up against Winthrop yesterday, they look great with their changes. Guys like Bones, who they brought in as their new duelist, absolutely popping off. But can they keep that same level of play today? That's what we're going to have to see. I mean, even on these this last matchup, though, of you know, Fluffy Aimers in their previous form, up against the Moist Moguls in the regular season, it was Mame as one of the guys stepping up and being one of those rocks for them. So as long as we can see that again today, and these new guys are stepping up and being improvements over what they had before, then it is a possibility where they can really dig deep and maybe even come out with an upset here.
I would love to see just how deep Fluffy Aimers can dig for this one, but it's time to see with the map picks and bans if this can be at least something that is going their way to start the series off right for them. And Lemon, you're talking a little bit about, hey, one of the maps a little bit different. So when you're looking at this, what's changed? What can we look ahead to?
It's really interesting. So Breeze, of course, Moist Shopify, one of their best maps, Lotus being number 1. I would say Breeze number 2. Either way, a comfort pick for Moist Shopify on Breeze. Ascent is the strange one for me when it comes to Fluffy Aimers choosing this after previously they've banned this against Moist Shopify in the past. They got decimated. Fluffy Aimers got decimated by Oxygen on this map previously, 13-4. And to go against Moist Shopify, who are very strong on flashes, very scary map to go to. Also, I feel like Bones is a more standout Raze player than a Jet, so this is more of a Jet map. Jonah has more time on Cypher than KJ being a better on Ascent. Of course, both playable. They've played Cypher on this before. Lockdowns are very strong, though. I'm curious why Fluffy Aimers chose to go to Ascent with sort of the limited time do they have. Is this the map they feel most confident in?
Yeah, well, you know, like I said earlier, two roster changes, that's a pretty big shakeup for a team. It really throws your playbook up in the air, right? And not a lot of playbook depth, not a lot of practice time. Maybe they felt like this was a map where, you know, we can slot in with a standard comp, have a lot of strategy individually and as a team to fall back on just from previous teams and knowing how to play this map together as it being a very straightforward map. But it also could be something where they're looking at Moist and saying, what is the reason that they haven't played this map at all yet this Challengers season, right? We haven't seen Ascent out of Moist in any of their 5 matches this regular season, though we had seen it in the past with the previous iteration of the roster with Thief, and they were on a 5 to 6 game map win streak on Ascent before then. So it is strange to see them coming into Challengers and not playing it, but I can't imagine they don't have it in the pocket and ready to play on the Moist side of things if they're letting it through in the veto. So maybe Fluffy are hoping to catch them on the back foot on a map that maybe they're not as prepared on, but I'd be surprised if Moist weren't at least a little prepared on a map like this.
Especially looking back at their Ascent, as you said, they had the nice little win streak, including up against one of the teams that was consistently besting them in that offseason, being Oxygen Gaming, a team that we know is really, really strong as well. And it was a more standard comp coming out from MXS. So when I'm looking at the Ascent, have to imagine that this is just something that's a little bit more comfortable for this team that's kind of trying to come together here. But I want to see what they have up their sleeve. So we have our agent select ready. Let's head on over to that to see if there has been any changes since we've seen Moist here, or what we can expect. Levin,
cool.
What a surprise.
This is what some Ascent stuff happening.
So interesting that Jonah's on Killjoy. I think he spends a lot of time on Cypher, but Killjoy is the Sentinel to play here. I've already talked about the strength of lockdowns. Fluffy Aimers did prefer the Cypher in the past, but it wasn't with Jonah in the lineup. So you're seeing the adjustments that those roster changes have made to their play style and their strategy for this.
Yeah, and again, Mame over on the Omen where he belongs. And this is always been a strong map typically for Mame. On the Omen. So, I mean, not much surprise here. This is the comp that, it is the comp of comps for Ascent. There's a lot of maps where you can get a little creative and you can have a little bit of add your own personality to, your team composition, maybe throw out some weird things. But, ever since Potter's triple initiator comp back in the day that had a bit of a run, we've kind of just returned to seeing the same comp over and over again. So not much surprise here, and we'll just have to see which one of these teams are going to come out on top in the Ascent Brawl Down.
When we got the mirror match, that's always interesting to see where we're going to see the micro differences going on into this. But time to get underway with our first map here in the series and head over to our casters, Wyatt and Gompers, to take us through Ascent.
Thank you so much, Sierra, and to the analyst desk. It is super exciting to be with you guys again today within the midseason. My question is, why do they call it the midseason, Wyatt, when none of these teams are mid?
I mean, you know what? You're so right. They've actually, there were some surprising results yesterday. I thought the teams that would be mid, they actually weren't mid. So, you know what? You're goddamn right. This terrible name doesn't make sense at all.
Great analysis from my part. But yeah, I'm super excited to get into it. Definitely a big change from moving away from the Cypher. I know Lemon had established that just a little bit. I think this is a better change, especially with, I guess, the dynamic also changed in general with this new team, new name, new branding with Fluffy Aimers as well. So I am looking forward to seeing how this new dynamic's going to work out.
For sure. Previously, yeah, they were running the Cypher and the Viper, which had mixed success, and now they've gone back to the old Reliable with this new roster, which, that makes sense too, depending on how much time they actually had to practice with this team. It's easier to fit into that composition that every single competitive Valorant player has a lot of experience with. So that it'll be cool to see what they can do with this new roster. And there's a lot that I'm looking towards with this new roster in terms of what they have to offer with the team play on Fluffy Aimers, because I think that the two new additions from YFP were suffering from a team that was incredibly individualistic. Yeah. Whereas the TWT team for me were succeeding because they actually had some better fundamental team play than other teams in Challengers. And I want to see if Bones and Jonah can fit into a more teamwork-oriented system, or it's going to kind of devolve into an individualistic style and fail for the same reasons that YFP did during the regular season.
Definitely the question. Now, finally, with the start of the game, we get to see whether or not this is going to work out, especially with the two newer additions, but already some damage being left out on Bones. So with that being said, a huge back off on the side of Fluffy Aimers.
It's big mid setup right now from MXS, and they're trying to trade off of it, but Mame immediately with two. Really nice from him. Put up a crazy game yesterday as well. The desk was highlighting how good he is on pistol rounds, just validating their take immediately.
1-for-2 trade-off with Jonah, now looking to clean up just a bit, so already looking good. I mean, having to isolate the fights, I definitely feel like that was a strength that I got to see from Fluffy Aimers before, in previous games against MXS, which really did lead them down the drain.
And it's really the objective, I think, with bringing Jonah and Bones into this team was to increase the firepower. Yeah. Because they had some good fundamentals, this Fluffy Aimers team, previously TWT, but oftentimes they were just lacking in winning duels, getting kills, and
30 seconds
so far
left.
Things looking good.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's absolutely no shot, no chance for the team to do anything about it. MXS already down in this first round, and man, looking like pretty harsh pistol round, though definitely emphasizing on the fact that Mame clutched up there for a second.
Absolutely. MXS were trying to go for this in a mid-trap, see if some players could be baited into bad fights there where they had 3 players ready to swing off of it, but what are you supposed to do when Mummy just gets 2 immediately? So a great start here from the team that is certainly the underdog in this matchup.
Yeah, they've had their moments, honestly, where they were able to take so many beginning rounds off of MXS. I believe 4-0 down on Breeze, which is a map that we do get to see eventually off the start. So this team, they're not lacking in that sort of sense.
For sure. And you have to imagine as well that these, this new iteration, rather, of the Fluffy Aimers team has been having a lot of success on Ascent in their scrims because it was an awkward map for them earlier in the season and one that MXS have thrived on in 2024. They have 2 wins against Oxygen, their rival, and another additional win against C9 as well. So just impressive results from them. A bold choice from Fluffy Aimers for sure.
Yeah, they're keeping their patience, especially as the 1v1 just waiting to erupt. Information, though, from Ojima. Just going to give itself away. Neptune. Slow peek forward. Even then, all you really have is a shorty, so once you give away your location, yep, chances of you getting that are slim to none. Now B-site completely left open.
Yeah, just not expecting that player to have walked up so closely. And at this point, it's just Fluffy Aimers is attempting to stave off some damage, but a great first shot from Mata. Just going to try to see what they can do as far as ruining the economy. It's a good start here.
Oh, man, and this has got to hurt. Even then, 43 health left on Jonah. There wasn't any pickup from Vic. He didn't look for anything, even though all they really need is the pistol, but this is huge. They picked this up. There's a huge potential to take this round back, but then comes down to whether or not this 1v2 is going to work out. TP huge, though, giving them some momentum. Even then, 58 health left. Mame still on the prowl, looking for something, expecting the fake, but the pop flash comes out, and it leaves Vic speechless. Huge recollection, but, I mean, it was a close round.
Let's make a play.
Pretty significant damage done from MXS. They're going to be more than happy with that. I mean, how the hell did they let Vic win 2 1v1s with a classic? That just simply shouldn't be happening. Mata got that nice shot as well with the Marshall, and you can see this awkward position that it's put the Fluffy Aimers in right now. Mame's picked up a Vandal, but is going to have no cash for the next. A few players will have cash for the next, but, Guardian in hand. They're even still mixing up the buy until the very last second. A bit of indecision from the squad. It's a fast B main take, though. Good map control early.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. Info comes out early, and it just gives away positioning for MXS. And this is the one chance for them to really reach that sort of success here. So if they don't pick that up, it's just another round given away to Fluffy Aimers, and Mame's just not really letting anybody get away.
Flyer with a bit of an awkward walk-up. Thought he could probably take that space given there was so much noise over towards B, but Mame again winning, a crucial duel for the squad.
Every single piece of util that's been thrown out so far has just been a detriment to MXS. Already a drone just to push back any sort of mid-take information. Definitely not looking so good as to how things are working out here. 1v1s left and right, and Jonah now looking to clean things up with Brock. Just spamming it down with the Odin. It's pretty impossible at this point. 1v3, and no util to utilize other than maybe a shock dart to get some of that damage through. Wall bangs just left and right, though. Some of that damage made, I mean, valiant effort, but it's not looking too good.
That could have gotten so awkward with the spam. I mean, Neptune at 9 HP, one stray bullet could have hit him, a couple to pancakes, but just going to save that Odin, bring it into the next round. The essential tool for the Sova here on Ascent to lock down B main. On that round for me, MXS, they're really getting antsy. There's a lot of noise cut in the mid round so far from Fluffy Aimers that MXS are finding uncomfortable. They're trying to push the issue. And so far, it's just baited them into the waiting hands of the Fluffy Aimers, slowly garnering the map control.
Yeah.
Already a good start on the attack side here. Bonus round converted. It was a really awkward buy as well because MXS did so much damage previously. putting them in a tough position here early, the underdogs.
And this is great though. Fluffy aimers, they're kind of used to this, right? Like running with the momentum in the beginning. I think the biggest faulty that I'm hoping they fixed is at some certain point, the adaptation starts to come through. MXS got really comfortable and they started to just go with the flow. Once that happens, it got really hard for Fluffy aimers. So it is up to them to see if they can switch things up, maybe change up the way the pacing goes. But I mean, with that being said, seems like Bones might have DC'd. Nope, caught themselves back.
Lummy just waiting with that paranoia in hand to set up the play, and Jonah, fantastic kill onto Mata, who had that B main control, and rotate has come in though from MXS. With the KJ spotted, you have to assume that the main brunt of the attack side is going to be towards A. And on a bad buy, there's no reason for MXS not to risk it and stack over to that side of the map. So they're set up now, but again, this noise cut. Fly is rotating off.
Ready for the eruption. Huge too, because the possible suppression, but nobody catches down backside. And it looks good. I mean, every single angle taken up just by the looks of it when it comes down to Fluffy aimers. 4v2 situation. And just left up to it is the Odin. So we fly with a pistol. Honestly, they did kind of cook last time when they had it. So I'm not going to count them out just yet. Possibility there. They're seeming like the only source of information comes 25 seconds left up for the recon dart. And Brock's still looking to fight something through, though. Yeah, placement of that. Unfortunate.
Just trying to make something happen with this Odin again, but it's a good setup right now from Fluffy aimers.
Some sort of suspense. Everybody knows where they are at this point. 3K there, but all they need to do is fight just a little bit further. Time of the essence, and yeah, pulled out wrong time, out in the open, and they got cooked. So that's okay though.
That is super awkward for Brock. And again, there was another moment in that round where the noise cuts from Fluffy aimers are really causing MXS to get antsy in those situations 2 rounds in a row, and they're taking an early timeout now already. And frankly, I'm not mad at that because this needs to be addressed. So like I mentioned in the round, because they had seen the Killjoy, it activated this rotate towards A, because typically when you see the KJ back there, it's going to be like a 1-4 setup, which is the case. And then they rotated over to A, but when the noise was cut, they thought it was possible now. Hold up, they could be going back to B because our guy who pushed out died. So then Fly started rotating off, and then they hit it the perfect time. They're really getting worked by Fluffy aimers right now. Some solid calling so far. Really impressive. And hopefully right now the coach for Moist Shopify is addressing this issue where they're really getting baited by the noise cuts.
It's the perfect time to think about your strategy for sure. Especially, this isn't the same team they played against. It's completely different. So you go into this level-headed, you know, being the top team. There definitely is some sort of, I guess, ego that really does get kind of chopped the moment that you see how well Fluffy aimers is doing. So more so picking up the strategy and the ego as well. Mata picking up the op though for a difference in it, but the mid site, I guess mid information just more so being looked into here.
This is the first time that Fluffy aimers have really pressured up mid. They've been mixing things up so far nicely.
Okay, I don't like it though. Brock already looking for info. Does manage to find something, though. Shot's not really collecting itself, and a shot of whatever's going on there.
Yeah, nice from Bones. He pushed up and was able to take down the turret that was on Pizza, so that's going to make MXS concerned about their mid information right now. And Pancakes, oh, that is such a nice spam, predicting that. Really well done. No Sova for info now, and the knife was just used from Flya as well.
Oh, this is good though. Jonah knows when to back off. Continue picking that fight. It might have gone Flya's way though. So much util possibility. You got the ultimate left up on Jonah. Possibility for a B-side take even then. I mean, they do have some sort of advantage, but here it comes. Placement set down, and of course pop flash through, and they think somebody's pushing, but they're not. Sandwiching it ever so slowly, and they do manage to find Flya. So, I mean, B-side completely up for the taking. Fluffy aimers again, just doing the absolute most to try to take whatever they can.
Yeah, that was a really nicely timed B split. It just caught Fly completely off before he could rotate to spawn.
10 seconds left.
They are playing these attack rounds pretty masterfully right now. Taking out the Sova, you know, starving MXS for info in the mid round when first Bones breaks that turret, and now they're actually aware that Mata's going to have the op. And with a pretty good economy, they're likely going to be chasing this down.
Ooh.
Oh my god, what a shot.
There's no way. But they even then, I mean, they know that everybody's over towards B. Managing to pick one shot off is just enough, especially coming off on Mame. But that could have just been them trying to get their ultimate down as well. At this point, they are very, very well set up for the future.
They're just forced to save now our MXS, who in that round were so info starved with the turret going down and then that nicely placed spam from Pancakes to get the Sova out of the mix. And at the same time the Sova died, the knife was used at 50 seconds. So for that late round, they just had zero information whatsoever. And Fluffy Aimers were able to just work the map as they please. But now, with the knowledge that this operator is online, they're going to have to be pretty careful about clearing a lot of these areas, not contact pushing past choke points. They don't want to walk into that off and give away a free easy kill to Mata, who's really just been the best duelist of the regular season by all accounts, by all statistics.
Oh, Vix just put themselves inside of wine. I didn't see anything though, especially with this one-way block in the view. When they know that it's there. Vic getting themselves out of danger, but even then Mata with a big move coming down in mid. And they know a lot of the time taking up that space is Fluffy Aimers. Now they're trying to fight back though. The site completely taken away yet again. You cannot seem to get away from this team, and no matter how you fight, how hard you fight, they always seem to find a way back. They always seem to isolate the fights, though. Op still left in the hands of Mata. And a Paranoia just waiting to be put up towards heaven. Even then with Bladestorm being set out, yeah, does a huge back off there.
It's giving Bones an opportunity for the flank as well, which they just don't expect. Fluffy Aimers are playing really well right now, and Moist Shopify's willingness to try to make fast reaction plays is getting exposed so hard. After Pancakes gets this kill, they really tried to rush getting back into the site with Brock and Flya flashing out of the door, and it just completely fell flat. All those angles being covered, and that's just not enough firepower for that burst play. They're really not catching the timings. It's the second time the exact same thing happened, where they rush trying to get into A and miss the window. Fluffy Aimers now, they're playing very slow on this anti-eco round, not trying to give anything away early.
Take flight.
Oh, this is huge. They've blocked out view on the side of Mata, so even then they do hear the drone coming up towards mid, but that could give so much false hope and information. Yeah.
Noise just completely cut. Turret is going to be broken now. Knife close as well. Going to make sure that there's no player hiding in logs. And once this drone is broken, they're just trying to hit the gas into the site.
3 players on the site, so it's going to be pretty hard to try to get yourself on if you're Fluffy Aimers. Everybody watching the extremities, and it's so good, even though they don't have a lot of information or space to take up. They have everything they need to try to give into a rotation. The patience on the side of MXS. Pancakes finding one of their own, so with the opening there, they just need to play off it with Jonah, though. Sit down inside of mid. It is huge for Mata to find it, and a potential for a Vandal as well, so I mean, the Hero Rifle, definitely a possibility to bring things back, though. Man. Slow work up, though.
Yeah, they're just trying to work into spawn right now because MXS, they're not giving anything away on the site. They're trying to find kills elsewhere.
10 seconds left.
Okay, what is going on? It's just so perfectly placed, too. But I like that. I like the distraction behind it. It gives Mata some time to feel semi-comfortable peeking the angle.
Fluffy Aimers were really trying to slow things down there again, which, not a bad decision. They were able to bait Brock out of the site, walking up a lane, holding that angle down, and then just trying to pressure elsewhere to get some kills. This was really unfortunate for Jonah. He was posted up watching Cat, and the second he turns, he gets caught. So that is just a Really bad timing for him.
Placing swarm grenade.
Well done overall from MXS. The TP as well from Vic to get back and, you know, bunker down back B was really important. And it's going to get them that eco win.
Hot flash out, but Bones is the first one to take it. And a potential pick coming through, but a nice trade-off from Brock, especially with the Hunter's Fury. So ultimate used in the correct way. Seems like even then it is going to be a huge take-back. So Fluffy Aimers, I mean, they just know how to convert it.
Yeah, Pancakes has been doing a nice job taking advantage of action somewhere on the map to try and push up and get a pick. And now Jonah picks up the B main push as well. Mummy trading out with the AWP. That's a vintage Mummy right there. Take me back to 2020.
Dude, it feels like I'm watching war. Like, there is no... The first couple seconds of this just felt like, if you survive, you survive. But it feels like Odashima...
Spike planted.
Oh, looking for a flank round. They definitely hear them. There's no way Jonah doesn't know that they're there. Oh, maybe not.
Regardless, this is just going to be another situation where an MXS player is forced to save already 7 rounds on a Scent attack. I mean, you'll take that all day long. This map is typically defender-sided. And I really like the AWP pickup, frankly. Bones as well had the knives, so if things got scrappy, if some close-range fights ensued, he could have just popped those and would have been fine. But given MXS penchant for pushing up for info at the moment, really all across the map. They did it on A, they pushed out B as well. The AWP is just a great counter to that.
It's interesting, too, because I think... Man, it works so well for Mata, but the positioning has just been awful, like, majority of the time. And I do like that Mata is redirecting themselves back towards mid, though, especially since a lot of the time, the heavy picks that we did see Mata get that felt semi-game-changing, I guess that gave them that one round they did win, was down inside of mid. So hopefully with that early info, they get something through out of A.
All of Fluffy Aimers stacked up at A right now. Maybe they'll go for a fast hit off this Hunter's Fury.
Nowhere to run!
Yeah, and that is going to be the case.
Yeah, moving forward, though, I guess lacking some sort of information. Yeah, Bones making the move to try to figure out what's going on down inside of sight, but everybody else holding the extremities for MXS and taking their time. A completely different approach than, you know, the typical, okay, I need a pick here. I need to try to resolve this as quick as possible. So I like the patience.
Not a lot of util to work with here for Fluffy Aimers at all. Null Command is going to come in as well to get this retake online for MXS.
Already off, just trying to make some sort of movement down outside of main, but it doesn't seem like it is going to. Already so many players taken down, as it seems, and Fluffy Aimers looking to recollect, but down to it. It's just Neptune that won't let it go. And Mata with an up. Left alone in this moment, Flya. Seem to get some sort of resurrection, but a no-scope isn't going to work. A 3K down for Neptune, a huge round win.
Really nice reflight from him all the way into tree. MXS none the wiser to that. I believe Fake Cake's got a random AWP kill spam through the smoke in A main too, just firing up into heaven and took out Brock. So that's pretty fortunate. That's got to be mega tilting for him. Zero momentum for this team. They cannot get into this game whatsoever. It looks like Mata once again is going to try to push up B main early. There's going to be a flash over the top for him to maybe take a quick fight here. But Jonah's tucked in the corner, so he's not going to get it.
It's always A. That just seems the most attractive. The Fluffy Aimers, there hasn't been a very huge profit out of it, but I like the conditioning. They just basically made MXS think that this is the move here.
Look at this rotate that they've drawn. Every single player went towards A. Jonah now has the info on Mata rotating. He's just making so much noise. Gave up B control. Jonah has found some fantastic timing so far on this lurking. Oh my god, he's just shutting them out of the round.
Jonah was like, honestly, just a sentinel brought out of heaven for this team, to be honest. And it's perfect. Even then, they've lured out another rotation with Brock having to go over towards B. No space occupied up towards A, and a possible flank for Vic, but even then, they're just completely separated. and having to fight this 2v5 without each other. So down to that 1v1, Jonah manages to find it. 3k down, and man, Fluffy aimers are just looking really good.
I mean, Brock is just, why the hell am I getting shot in the back right now? I mean, MXS are just getting worked right now. There's no other way to put it. There was a flash and a knife towards A, and listen, they are on the bad buy, so they want to gamble a little bit, but they just fast rotated all 5 players. Things slow down just slightly, and Jonah's able to work a B main off the timing, find another nice pick, sitting at 10 and 4 right now, and a number of those kills have just been 1v1 pickups somewhere on the map in his lurk position, or just when he's holding B main. I mean, I think right now he might be 3-0 against Mata in kills because of just shutting down his B pushes. Just has that area of the map on lockdown.
They're just so good at reading this team and making the assumption that they're following and exactly what they're trying to do for Fluffy aimers. Yeah, but a big push up towards mid from Mata. No smokes left available, but mid completely quiet.
Yeah, interestingly, Fluffy aimers haven't used either of their info gathering tools early. Neptune still has that knife, and the recon wasn't used by Pancakes either. They drone to clear B main. They're going to get the control here, and Jonah's going to be able to get the lockdown here.
Do they even need it? It could just be a complete fake up towards B too. They know this team likes to rotate. MXS not making any noise, and I'm sure Fluffy aimers definitely know what's going on here. Some noise made up towards B, and possibility. Man, this is bad.
This is a crazy setup for MXS. They have pretty much 4 players deep mid right now. And the rest of the team, they're just gonna, Fluffy aimers that is, they're just gonna cross B and get in off this null command.
Dude, it took one smoke from Bones to just completely deny a fight down in mid too. And it's crazy. Now they have to try to figure out a way to get past this, but I don't think they can. Lockdown already placed, and everybody having to wait outside. Mummy's there, and he's able to find the shot. Nobody can fight this.
I mean, Mummy has just returned to his youth. The man he was before his like stockbroker Wall Street era when he was locked in on Envy. This guy looks incredible right now. He was solid earlier in the season on Cypher for sure, but his aim was not looking crispy like it has yesterday. So far today, you know, a lot of the kills he was getting earlier in the season were more due to just intelligent play on the defensive side. And that's not to say he isn't playing intelligently now. He certainly is. But tapping heads like he is right now was not something he was doing earlier. It was more so playing off utility, getting spray down kills with the Phantom through cages, that kind of play. But right now, this is just out-aiming the team that was undefeated in the regular season. I mean, out-aiming Mata, who was statistically the best in ACS, average damage per round, kills per round, every statistic. He was #1 for the regular season and just cannot get anything started right now. It's just getting so outgunned.
I'm just astonished. Like, I think heading into this, I thought this was going to be a complete different way around.
This is crazy.
Like, this is the biggest plot twist in history, and possibly the biggest upset. I know there probably were a lot of people rooting for MXS, but now it's gone down the drain. They have to pick it up now, or else it's just done.
Early drone from Brock, that's going to get broken. Odorous has this lockdown to deny the B push when it comes in. Just an exchange of drones for info on either side. But honestly, this lockdown position is kind of close that if he uses it too late, the players on site, they're going to get overwhelmed because Fluffy aimers are going to know that they just have to go straight at them here.
Scanning ahead.
But that's not going to be the case. They weren't fully committed, so they're just going to retreat out of this, and it's going to shed a lot of time off the clock here for Fluffy aimers to get a hit in late.
Oh, they've planned for this though, and I think they're falling right into their traps. MXS taking a different pathway into the defense. Now this time conditioning Fluffy aimers, but no, they didn't fall for it. Just back over towards B. And having to fight things against Brock. Oh, but they know Neptune slowly walking up, maybe finding out where the util is, seeing the head of Brock, but it ends up not going their way. 3 players down in seconds. And MXS potential to pick things up. 10-2 there.
10 seconds
Yeah,
left.
it's their round. I mean, finally being able to figure out a strategy that works for them, but maybe just a bit too late.
Yeah, it definitely feels too little too late, given they're on the favored side.
Yeah.
But that really just comes down to Odorous
your weapon is
finding the
only
right
a
timing for that
Don't just
lockdown.
shoot.
If he missed
You have
it,
to think.
they might have been in trouble, overwhelmed in the sight by, the Fluffy Aimers forced to run straight at them. But that wasn't the case, and it just had them in such an awkward position with the timing. And even at that, I'm not mad at what Fluffy Aimers did, trying to work up Cat. They smoked off Tree to try and fake that they were going to rotate fast A, while 3 players stayed in B. But finally, around where MXS were, not over-rotating in that situation either. Odorous was still in position to watch B main from back spawn, so really too little too late on not getting baited into the rotations. But listen, 2 rounds, it's definitely better than 1. So
Yeah.
they will take it.
They're not close to match point, that's for sure. Well, they are, but they're not as close as they would be plus 1 round.
Exactly. Exactly.
Being
Very
optimistic,
glass half full.
although it is back to pissed around, and Mame is looking for blood. So.
Yeah, just the pistol god, evidently. Right now, they're, I believe, 4-1 in pistol rounds so far in the playoffs. So it looks like they want to go for a fast play down mid here with a KO flash and the tiles, something like that. But it's going to be ultimately irrelevant. So MXS just want to go for the fast B take. So we'll be in a full retake scenario, excuse me.
Yeah. Might work out for the best, honestly. They did invest quite a bit into the paranoia. Looking like Mame wants to try to get that to come through, but it's Vic. I guess controllers just seem to know how to handle the classic, and MXS making it work. They know they need this round to bring that potential forward to get some sort of retake in. When it comes down to the points on the board, but it's over 3-10. And finally, a pistol round went out.
Finally starting to win a couple aim duels here, too. That was nice from Vic. Fluffy Aimers had a good, setup there to take B main with Mummy waiting with the paranoia, but Vic was just a little bit too far forward for it to hit him in time and got some great shots off. So, listen, if MXS can get things rolling here, this defensive side can snowball for sure. So, there's a little crumb of hope for the MXS fans in the building. I have seen the defensive side go absolutely crazy and run back some comebacks, so they're not out of it yet, I swear, guys.
They're better on the attack. Let's just say that.
Deploying drone.
Drone. Definitely going to catch out at least 2 players. Yeah, they saw the head back behind Dice for sure. Lineups already being placed. Looking as to where they might go, but Neptune, didn't seem to be able to push themselves backwards. And a huge pop flash out as Mono protects where Flya is. So the A site, now it's completely cleared. I was about to say Bones still left there, but all there is left are Bones at this point.
And it was last half. Fluffy Aimers on their second round after winning the pistol suffered a hell of a lot of damage. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case at all for MXS. And they committed some serious cash into this round. A lot of light armors, a little bit of missing utility just for the sake of picking up, the Vandal, a couple Bulldogs, the Guardian, and Brock getting the Odin is a big commitment too. So they're going to be coming into this third round with a really solid buy to get the ball rolling. Take that bonus, get the economy out of control.
Rolling with the punches. But, not too concerned. As I feel I wouldn't be either pissed around, kind of given away, but I think they definitely know deep down inside that there is huge potential to bring this down, that 11-4. Gone with the win.
Yeah, just going to make sure to get the optimal cash for the next round. So Fluffy Aimers, they've got the fully maxed out buy, every piece of utility, heavy armors where they can. I'm looking to see towards B main if there's going to be a bit of a spam battle. Odorous does have the Guardian there for that high bullet pen. There's not going to be an Odin on the other side, so nothing to really give him a signal to try and spam with the Guardian and actually get a kill, but you know, it's still possible a situation like that may come up.
Oh, they've just given away pressure point of Vic. Not looking to push that out, but I mean, could be valuable information. I'll let that, especially with a potential to try to condition some sort of rotation down in B.
Now this drone is coming up mid from MXS, so Fluffy Gamers, they think that they could be walking up mid right now, but they're ultimately not that concerned because you can see the alarm bot there in the center of the map right by Pizza, unbroken. So that's really just going to deny the use of the drone and the attempt to feign some pressure there like they could be working into a B split. MXS, they want to rotate up fully now for this A exec, but they're going to have a few players to contend with.
One suppressed.
Not looking good either, especially with 30 seconds left and an Omen caught up. So now you have to try to figure out how you're going to push past this 1v3 possibility. A smoke out, so that kind of just leaves one player left onto the site. Bones having a difficulty keeping it. And it is up to everybody else to make sure that they have some sort of space and that they do. MXS, a huge take onto the site.
Fantastic entry from Mata. If he starts to come online, getting the initial kills, the first bloods for his team, you could certainly see this game turn on its head. Fluffy Aimers are just going to go for the safe play, certainly the smart play here by carrying over these 3 rifles into the next. But Mata really great on that site take. Spotted out Bones on his updraft dash to Gen and got that easy kill. Neptune trying to help his teammate Bones, but was just a little bit too late on the swing out of door. It's well played here from MXS so far, and you can see their economy is going to really get out of control. I don't even think a player's died at this point since the pistol round. I may be mistaken, but if they had, it was maybe only one. Now, Jonah with a nice shot. So, you know, a couple guns taken away, but again, ultimately, who cares? They have 3 players with 6K already. Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure no players died, so their economy is just out of control at this point.
Yeah. Even that just seems like Fluffy Aimers more so feeling more comfortable with keeping those 3 rifles in their hand to try to isolate a fight rather than, you know, get a retake in, which I don't blame them. I feel definitely the most comfortable position, but overall,
I'm gonna be real. This is where this round, if MXS win, I'm a believer. Because they'll have broken the economy of Fluffy Aimers at that point. And I think they can begin to get closer to that 10 rounds. Because I think they'll basically lock up 7, have an opportunity to start, you know, getting a bunch of kills, collecting the orbs, maybe start to snowball with the ultimates. But yeah, it really depends a lot on this round for me. And right now, they have no B main control. Mummy is pushed up close with that judge that's going to be obnoxious to contest with. And due to that, MXS, they just want to work towards A, but Jonah with a random spam. That is a tragedy.
okay, but that's nice. The patience that Mummy had just waiting there, just based off of the knife that they heard 20 seconds ago is immense, but it definitely shows how bad this team wants it. Fluffy Aimers having the player advantage. The Pancakes especially having some sort of information gathered. They're not going to use it though. 30 seconds left. Site has not been taken, but it's Brock with the Odin that scares me. One slight peek. It might just be over. They know where Mummy is. And that gives opportunity for a very, very quiet takeover coming through from Vic, but the spike isn't there. Yeah, and they may as well just try to collect that. But even then, there's so much potential for a 3-person take to just come around, and they're trying to isolate the fights and maybe find a way to stop everybody from getting that sandwich in, but it doesn't seem like it works out. That 11th round finally there for Fluffy Aimers.
That spray down from Jonah is just brutal for MXS on what was such a crucial round. That would have been the economy breaker for Fluffy Aimers. Fluffy Aimers are actually going to take a timeout off that win. And listen, I'm not mad at that. They're so close to locking up 13, and so far MXS have shown overall a good attack side. I mean, they literally have only lost to random spam through a smoke, getting 2 players. So I'm really not mad at this. They want to make sure that they lock up this game here. You know, their economy hasn't gotten fantastic yet. They were able to carry over a couple rifles. You know, so even still, MXS still have an opportunity to deal enough damage here with a round win that it would put Fluffy Aimers on the back foot. So we'll have to see, though.
This is where definitely starts to get a bit more detrimental, especially with, like, I guess the way MXS have been going so far. You'd think, oh, well, you know, 11-5 is a pretty big gap. Fluffy Aimers have this in the bag, but realistically, I mean, MXS looking very, very good on the attack, so. Especially here. The potential to try to load up whatever's going on there for Jonah on the ultimate, but it's gonna be semi-hard.
Flashback.
Gonna be a flash here for Bones to push.
Already huge coming through, especially with Mata already taken down early off in the round, so the defense definitely not lacking.
Yeah, and MXS off that pressure in B main feel like A might be light and they want to get in straight away. So they are going to get the site here. Relatively uncontested. Odorous on this flank. Could be the linchpin to a round win.
Odashima. They blocked it off. Oh, and they had some sort of sound cue. They may be thinking that nobody was going to peek inside of the smoke, but regardless, door closed and there is not a lot of access points to make yourself known. Or even to allow yourself some sort of space there, so he's going to have to peek out of the corner. Nobody's watching up top, and that allows Bones to get 2. This is huge. They have a pop flash to bring down just underneath of Hell. But even then, the Odin's still stuck underneath, but they're able to find it. The shot after shot, but the 1v1 Vic looking for the potential to bring this out, but the shock dart. It allows the win to come through, and they just win it out.
How do we end up with 3 players in Hell and 1 guy Gen? The post-plant positions got absolutely scrambled for MXS. They recover that as well with that really late flank from Odashima into tree. Some action through door at the same time. That was such a good timing. How did we end up with every player down there? That is a tragedy for them. They've been able to at least get 1 bye here, but that feels like the nail in the coffin.
Man. Oh my goodness. They kind of just funneled themselves, and now having to face their own facts, looking for a very aggressive take just going inside of mid. And I won't find anything. A huge lack of information. Only thing they really do have is, okay, there's a killjoy here. Turret sounded off. A Neptune down, stuck around the back, but Mata's already down. And now suppression is set forth. Big rotation. Actually, not even coming through yet. They're staying patient.
Pancake's just waiting with that recon. If he gets a good timing with it, gets a couple pings, that Odin's going to be lethal backside shooting through the wall.
Oh, they might find it. Oh, they found more than 1 for sure, but they haven't found anything just yet. Shock darts placed. And have been able to get just a little bit of damage, but even then, finding out where everybody else is. Unfortunate timing, and they don't take it yet. MXS slowly bringing it back on the side of the attack. 1 just left, just in the back of Boathouse, and if they find 1, they could at least equal things out, but man, the bullying is absolutely unbelievable. 2 players left in a situation where it was looking a bit more in favor of Fluffy Aimers.
Well done from MXS so far, and it looks like they'll be able to close this thing out.
Yeah. Maybe not. Definitely still fighting. 36 health. Some sort of damage already done. Headshots continuously there. Other TP. Oh, they don't know. They're placed so perfectly for a cross hold here. Vic making it happen and doing a huge cleanup.
Yeah, Mummy has just... This man has simply taken sips from the fountain of youth. I have never seen this man have such good rifling in my life outside of the past 2 days. I mean, back in the day when he was at his best, he was an AWPer. Earlier this season, like I was saying before, it was, you know, skill was really coming from just more intelligent play to me, and goddamn, right now he is just
Clear to engage.
clicking heads. And as is Vic, both Omens top fragging here. Vic has just played a number of agents and challengers and has been really talented on all of them.
Yeah. Especially now, they've already put so much work into allowing MXS so much space, man. But this is so unfortunate. You get pushed out at an awkward timing. Already taken down as Jonah, so not necessarily needed. They already have the site. It's up to Vic to find something alongside Mata, but Neptune in a very, very unfortunate position, especially with the pistol there. And now looking for more. Huge back off. So the discipline kind of set in stone for MXS, just looking to keep the site and keep the space they've already taken up. And that's pretty much that. Pistol left up to Bones, and no ultimate to really pick things up. 12-6. And match point is not looking too detrimental right now.
At the very least as well, I mean, listen, obviously this comeback is still possible for MXS, but for the future maps, it's good to see them just start to come alive a little bit here. They looked so fatigued in that first half, late into it, and early on they just could not get a read on how Fluffy Aimers were working the map. It's just good to see that they're actually coming to life here. It's a better prospect when we get to Breeze, which is their map pick in the series as well. But of course, Arsenal, and they've got 4 ultimates on the line here. They're gonna go for a fast A hit off them.
Oh, and the quick approach works every single time. Showstopper. Actually, Showstopper, what am I talking about? No race here. The Hunter's Fury was putting in some of the work at zoning these players, but even then, Fluffy Aimers managing to find more. And more they will find. Match point. And 2 players left on the side of MXS. This might just be game over. Unless they have anything that they can put to the test. Possibility to take in the lockdown if they find a pick. But that pick's so rare. And the spike's still left down into the hands of Fluffy Aimers. Man.
Pancakes even has that Hunter's Fury online as well.
Scanning ahead.
Oh, they're gonna know where Brock is. I'm kind of figuring out where this team is residing. Hunter's Fury picked down and so much damage made already. 1 down and the other one left up to Bones to just completely take away. But a congratulations, as the winners are in fact Fluffy Aimers. Huge, especially the way they played today. I wasn't expecting this victory, but to be quite honest with you, I'm a true believer of FA now, so.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the roster moves of bringing in Bones and Jonah as well, which added some firepower to the team, definitely paid off there. Jonah was winning so many duels against Mata in the first half over in B main, where Mata kept pushing up and was getting shut down. And Mame as well stepping up again, 2 series in a row so far. But for me, that just really comes down to how well Fluffy Aimers were working the map on attack. MXS just did not know how to handle the noise cuts in the mid rounds from Fluffy Aimers. And when it came down to the site execs, they were always consistently able to save a lot of their util for late rounds. They never needed to expend a lot early. So that was just a great attacking half from them. And, you know, yeah, despite that being Fluffy Aimers' map pick, definitely went into it expecting a win for MXS. I mean, they've been great on it all year. So big upset so far. But obviously, we're heading to MXS's map pick next, which is going to be Breeze.
Yep, and that being said, I'm pretty excited to see what's going on because I didn't expect this turnout, and I know the analyst desk didn't either. We'll be right back with them right after this break.
I think the most banned map will probably be Breeze in the MSI because we haven't really seen it that much. The most played map, probably Ascent maybe. I'm not sure. I feel like most teams play Ascent. I haven't seen as much Sunset as I thought I would see, for example, since it's a newer map.
I think if you want to have an upper hand as a team, you can be good on Ascent. It really depends. Like, I think you need a really solid Odin player, so I don't even know. I would go back and forth. Ascent's probably going to be the most played because it's the easiest map to play on. And then the most banned would maybe be Split. I don't think a lot of teams have Split down. Probably that map.
Most banned map is probably going to be Breeze for everybody. I'm not sure popular people are liking Breeze right now. Most picked map, Binder Split. I think everybody's playing those maps.
It's going to be tough. There are some new agents that are introduced. I think that a lot of people still have trouble on fundamental-based maps. Binds, the splits are definitely the ones that I think get banned the most. And then the most popular is probably going to be Lotus. There is going to be a shuffle coming up soon. I don't know when. So I think some maps are going to be deactivated, reactivated. And the 3 bomb site maps are really popular for teams at this level.
I think Lotus got played like a ton this season. That could be biased because like I played Lotus in almost every game. I see it pretty often. And then the most banned map, I would say Breeze. I don't think Breeze got played like at all. I don't know if people were banning it, but it didn't get played.